everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so we're going to talk about the back of the duet. As you can see, the skirt is long and it ends in a tail, a train, or what we call a lache. So almost like a wedding gown. So I don't think there's anything difficult about that. But it's the top I need to concentrate on. The back, the top of the back needs to be well fitting. These two dots are very often forgotten by seamstresses and they need to be put in. We need to get them back. Otherwise the backless looks puffy and large. It's supposed to fit the back of the person. And these pleats, these dots here, or this sewing here, I'm not a seamstress, so I don't know what they're called. But this sewing here, almost like a princess line, naturally, or like this bust things that come from here in the front. It's very essential because that is what gets the back, gives you the shape of the back. So when you stand up and a person looks at you from the back, it's elegant, it's elegant and fitting, well fitting. And then this is where you have the slight gathers. You don't have to put a lot of gathers, you know. Slight gathers, and then you sew across the gathers. You sew across the gathers. Very small, very dainty, very neat. And this is where you sew. So this part fits you well at the back. Very, very important. So don't forget the sewings here, the pleats here, and then the sewing over it. Okay? Let us look at the base. The base is like the wedding outfit. It ends in a train, a tail, a lache, and there is rickrack braid, normally white rickrack braid around it and around to the front. At the top here, you may have accordion pleats, and I will have to show you how to do that in another video, or box pleats. Most seamstresses prefer to do the box pleats because they are easier to do. But these accordion pleats here is supposed to be in the small of the back, and it makes a boof when it's worn. And these are hand sewn. You cannot sew them without a machine because they're supposed to be really like accordion and not sewn flat. So this is very traditional, very time consuming, but it would be good for somebody to sit down and do it so they have a real traditional duet. Box pleats were also done in the days gone by, but seamstresses prefer to do the box pleats and they forget about the accordion pleats. So you can give yourself a challenge and try that. Okay? This is the 100-plus-year-old dress duet. And I want to show you here the seam. It's coming right down here and also on this side. This lady was she was quite round. So you notice that it's a bit wide. And do you notice that curve? It's not done for anything simple, you know. It fits not lower than the back, but right on the back, or even if a little bit higher. So when you tie it, it goes under the breast and it looks beautiful. So this person has used the box pleats. Actually, they are double box pleats. This one is even triple box pleats. So depending on how wide you want the width of your skirt, you can have double or triple box pleats. And the sewing even stops a little bit away from that seam. There is no sewing. There are no pleats or, how you call them, gathers. The line is here. That's the sewing seam is here. There is nothing, there are no pleats here, but the pleats are beginning from here to here. And if you can imagine that this lady was a little bit big, you can judge where you need to put the pleats or the gathers in the small of your back. There we are. Then the sewing continues from where the gathers stop. The sewing continues up to this stitch here. You continue very, very minute stitching up to the seam here. So we have here is plain, go over it again, plain up to that seam from the shoulder, sewing here but no gathers. The gathers are from here to here. The sewing continues but no gathers. Let me see if I can bring this a little closer so you can see. Okay. Here we have that stitch going up to the shoulder. Sewing but no pleats. Pleats in the small of the back. Sewing but no pleats. Up to that sewing to the sleeve, that cut to the sleeve. So it makes your back fit well. There is a cord I was speaking about. And these are the accordion pleats. And they're all hand sewn and hidden under this, the cord. So they cannot be sewed flat. They are real accordion pleats. Here we are, all in the small of the back. Then there is the cord. It's a cord which is covered with the same fabric as the dress, and it stretches from the waist, from the side of the waist, all the way over to the other side. There we are. See the cord? The dress at the back is very wide. But as again I say, the lady was quite big. So it is very wide at the back. Very, very wide at the back. We're going to talk about the sleeves. The sleeves are not normal sleeves. I mean, not the way you would just cut an ordinary short sleeve or a long sleeve. You can make it as wide as you like, but as long as you can manage it and you know how to piché it properly. That is the important part. Because if it's wide and you cannot piché it properly, it's not going to look good. It's going to trail on the ground, which is not the objective. The objective is to show your petticoats all around. So you have to be very, very careful how wide. But this was made for quite a large lady, so you can be able to estimate, how wide you want it. But make sure you can manage it. That's the important thing. It's a little bit more complicated than that because it has the shape of the elbow. When I folded it, this is what I got. Shape of an elbow, there is a stitch here. When I open it out, there is another stitch running here, up there. And there we are. There's another stitch coming here. I think it's almost like a man's jacket. There is a seam here, coming all the way to the bottom. So it's sewn Then there is the seam, and cut almost to like the shape of the elbow, and there is a seam here. It ends in a cuff, which you can style any way you want. This is very pretty. It's a cuff with some gathers sewn and then sewn over the sleeve. And the sleeves are always cut on the bias. First of all, for effect, and secondly, for ease of movement. Imagine if you have a striped duet or a plaid duet. It is just so beautiful to see the sleeves cut on the bias. So this is a very important aspect of the Wòb Dwiyèt as well. Style, effect. Remember, the sleeves are cut on the bias.